Welcome to Nursing Edge Unscripted Saga, as we use stories to connect the past to the present and then our future as we reimagine our teaching and learning. As we celebrate the NLN Year of the Nurse Educator, we pay tribute to extraordinary nurses who've made significant contributions to nursing education. We dive into the stories of nurse educators who recognized a need, challenged traditional customs, and influenced transformative change. Throughout 2022, we have focused on the contributions of educators and reformers who significantly impacted the scholarship of nursing education as part of the National League for Nursing's curriculum revolution. They opened the door to new ways to think about curriculum, clinical judgment, the power dynamics inherent in the student-teacher relationship, and theoretical underpinnings of clinical practice. This month, we celebrate another revolutionary, Verle Waters, a national leader in associate degree nursing education and a scholar whose deepest professional commitment was to move the profession as a whole forward. Verle valued personal connections and always asked colleagues to call her by her first name. We will honor that preference in this episode of Saga. Raised on a farm in Depression-era Minnesota, Verle earned a Bachelor of Science from the University of Minnesota in 1948 and a Master's in Arts from Columbia Teachers College in New York 5 years later, a remarkable pathway in the early 1950s. For over a half a century, from 1952 to her death in 2016, Verle led and contributed to reform movements that reconceptualized entry into practice, academic progression in nursing, and clinical instruction in pre-licensure programs. In 2007, she wrote about her 50-plus year remarkable journey, concluding, quote, "Broadly speaking, there were revolutionary changes in nursing education, and I had my turns at the barricades," unquote. In 1952, while working as a public health nurse in New York City, Verle joined her first revolution. She was asked by Dr. Mildred Montag to become a full-time teacher in one of the 7 initial associate degree programs in the United States at Orange County Community College in upstate New York. In her words, quote, "That experience shaped my mindset about education and prefigured the career that lay ahead. We, the teachers in the pilot programs, had all the attributes of a cell group. We were overthrowing entrenched beliefs, practices, and regulations. It was thrilling work. The new programs changed the location of nursing educational programs, the structure of learning activities, and the population of nursing students," end quote. The teachers in the emerging junior college nursing programs envisioned a program of learning that would revolutionize nursing education. To use Verle's words, the curriculum no longer would be based, quote, "on a map of a hospital," unquote. For example, Dr. Montag asked Verle to design and implement the first family-centered nursing course based on her population-based approach to nursing care delivery as a public health nurse. Together, with her Pathfinder colleagues, Verle welcomed students who looked differently from traditional nursing students at that time, women and men who were married with children, who held part-time jobs, who embraced nursing as a second career. And in the process, they changed the face of the nursing workforce. The faculty in the new 2-year programs confronted a backlash from leaders of diploma programs and emerging baccalaureate programs. Yet they persisted, and within 20 years, over 600 ADN programs existed across the U.S., educating almost 50% of the new nurse workforce. Verle's engagement in the radical associate degree program evolution shaped her career identity as a reformer, and for the next half-century, she served as a leading voice of the movement. Verle chose to mount the barricades again in the 1970s when the American Nurses Association led a vigorous campaign to end the licensing of the ADN graduate as a registered nurse. She told assembled audiences at numerous national conferences and meetings that the distinction between ADN and BSN education loses precision and, quote, vaporizes as it drifts from the teaching hospital in urban centers out through the suburbs until, on reaching the 75-bed hospital in a small town, it is a diffuse and foreign notion, end quote. For Verle, the realization that the entry into practice wars, as she described the era, focused on identifying difference rather than collaborating with practice to align with models of care delivery, led to over 20 years of estrangement and self-protected responses. Yet she persisted, and eventually RN BSN pathways became the norm in nursing education. Always gracious and known as a gifted and thoughtful listener, Verle kept her toes, as she often said, in both the often volatile worlds of associate degree nursing advancement and the broader issues of practice and curriculum reform. In part 2 of this episode, we will explore her role in the NLN curriculum revolution as she continued her journey to climb the barricades of reform. And so the saga continues, and may our saga continue as we bring to a close this episode of Nursing Edge Unscripted Saga. Thank you for joining us. And remember, good teaching doesn't just happen. Find your fit, push the boundaries, and celebrate the ahas.